Good afternoon, everybody. It's Dave coming to you from the dog yard for a dog yard chat here in Southern Maryland. It's about 3:30, coming up on 4 o'clock on Thursday afternoon. It's about, I just looked it up, it's 56 degrees, slight breeze, way better than yesterday. Man, that 45 and windy was killing me. But slight breeze, brought my coat in case I need it. Um, hey, I am happy to report that Amazon dropped me off two things that I desperately needed: a torch. So I bought a Colibri. It's a triple torch. You can't even see it on camera. And my cigar tool. And the cigar tool for me is really this piece. It's my cigar roach clip, as they say. I like to smoke my stubbies, and that makes it easy to do. It's also, on this end, got a core if you got a draw problem. I hate using this tool. If the cigar is so bad I got to use this, I usually throw the cigar out and start over. Just not much. I don't find that drilling a hole through the middle of the cigar solves many problems for me. You guys, Mark, you were asking me about punch sizes, so let me answer that here. So I use the main punch tool that I use is hiding from me at the moment. Holy smokes! I'll have to look for it in a minute. Oh, here it is, right on my lap. This is the punch tool I use. Punch tools come in two sizes as far as I know. Large punch, which this is. This is what I use almost on those big ring gauges. I like those 60 ring gauges, and even my Churchill sizes. This large punch, and you just twist it and it comes out nice and tall for you. And when you're done with it, you just twist it back. That's really nice, pretty heavy duty. And then on this cigar tool, there's both sizes. So on this big end is a big punch, and it just twists out. And on this end is a small punch. So if you got a smaller ring gauge. So my advice is buy a cigar tool. You get 4 tools in one versus you got to buy a large and a small edition of this. Although it's really heavy duty, it's hard to break it. I've never had a problem breaking this either. I just have a problem leaving them, or people borrow them or don't give them back. I've lost a couple in the lounge. I left one in Wyoming, obviously. Anyway, so those are the two punches: large, small. I don't know if there's any other sizes. That's all I've ever seen. All right, here's your Thursday edition of Sasha and Finn playing. There's Echo out there being a cow. Now they want to dig. A cornucopia of opportunity to play out here today. Now Sasha's torn. Do I attack the puppy? Do I attack Echo? Puppy? Echo. Echo. Here comes Finn, thinking he's been left out of something. Uh-oh, here comes the missile. Boom. And that brings us to the incredibly important topic about what are we smoking today. So today it's my second type of Cohiba. It's a Cohiba Macassar. The Cohiba Black made my top 10 cigar list. This, the Cohiba Macassar, did not make my top 10. It made my honorable 4. So I think when these are gone, I will not reorder them. I'll just have the Cohiba Black. I don't need to maintain 14 kinds of cigars here in Maryland. I got a big enough problem in Wyoming. So I'll probably drop to 10, maybe even 8 or even 5. We'll see. But anyway, the Cohiba Makassar in my honorable 4. Because I now have a torch, I believe I can light it right here. Look at that. Torch is so much better outdoors than a soft light. Wow, that worked great. There's a little Colibri. I don't really care about brand name. I don't really care about, it's just black. It just lives in my cigar bag. I mean, I just dump it in this thing and it gets carried around in my backpack, in my truck, gets dumped. I treat these things like crap. This is a tool to me, not a collector's item. I know a lot of you guys collect these things and they all have meaning to you and all that, and that's fantastic for you. But for me, it's a tool. It might as well be a screwdriver or a hammer. But boy, did that work great. That worked way better than the soft light. And there's Chance, being Chance. It's a full-time job. Finn came by to say hi. What are you doing, Echo? You need some love? Uh-oh. Here comes jealous Sasha. Everybody wants a piece of the loving. You guys are famous. Everybody likes to see you guys. So while it feels good to get my cigar kit back together, there are 2 activities that frustrate me. One is buying something to get back where I was, buying something because I broke it or I lost it. I find that frustrating because this really does not additive to my life. This was just expense and time to get back to where I was before I left for Wyoming. I don't like that. The other thing I don't like is I don't like spending time on repairs. I have to, you got to. That's not like spending time getting back to where I was before it broke or wore out. I like spending time on new ideas and moving forward and creating new things. I've had people tell me I'm good at making bikes but not riding bikes. Anyway, you got to do it. I get it. So I do it. I fix what I got to fix and I replace what I got to replace. But those are just 2 activities that bother me. I feel like I'm not moving forward. I'm just preventing moving backwards. I'd rather be moving forwards. There's Finn sitting in his little hole. He loves to sit in that hole. And you see how muddy he gets in the morning when it's wet with dew. Look, Sasha's actually digging a little bit. She wants hers bigger. I think they like the coolness of the mud. There's Finn. He's really setting to chill. Sasha's very unhappy with the chill. They renamed this a Dave's Dog Channel. Where's Chance? Chance is still over here. Where'd you go, buddy? He's right there being Chance. Doesn't want a whole lot to do with the other dogs most of the time. So I was recording I have a Freedom Friday video coming out tomorrow, and I was doing some of the recording today, and it got me thinking. Might trip some offensive meters here. It got me thinking what a funny people we Americans are, especially after reading the book, American Cause. Because I'm actually 9 of 10 chapters through it. So I was doing that and recording some Freedom Friday material earlier today. And just what a funny bunch of people us Americans are. I mean, us as a country, I mean, those of us on YouTube, those of us in the YTPC, we're a funny bunch. Because I look back over the last 4 years and all the complaining we've done about closing the southern border, stopping the education of gender choice to our 6-year-olds, and demanding that YouTube allow us to post whatever we want because it's freedom of speech, even though it's a private company. And I really thought to myself, is there anyone willing? I mean, even here in our little community, I hear us doing the, give me liberty, give me death, or give me death. We all hang together or we'll all hang separately. Don't tread on me. We're losing all our rights. But I'm not willing, and I don't think there's a single person in our community willing to don the tack gear and go die. Like literally go die, give up your life trying to take a school back from gender choice tyranny. Are you really willing to do that? I'm not. Are you willing to don your tack gear and go down the southern border and just start closing it yourself? I don't think so. And is anyone willing to go to the Google headquarters building and take it over and start demanding that a private company have freedom of speech and that we should be able to post anything we want on YouTube? I don't think so. I'm not. So it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny to watch the videos and look at the comments and read the book, get ready for Freedom Friday. It was just funny stew to stir all together and realize that as Americans, we're pretty damn comfortable, and overall, we're pretty damn happy. We find things to bitch about, which we can always do, but I don't think we're willing to do anything about it. I don't think it's reached a point where it's pinched any of our lives to the point where you're going to go do something about it, that you're going to go forfeit your life to address the situation, to take liberty back and die for it. I just don't see that happening. I think we're a long ways away from it. Even the COVID shutdown, you know, no one charged into it and got shot to fight for their freedom to not wear a mask. And I've read several times that true revolution doesn't come from comfortable people. And I think we're all pretty comfortable. We all have different levels of comfort. And this is the pot calling the kettle black, by the way. I have a great, comfortable life. But I'm pretty sure everybody that I watch on YouTube, particularly in the YTPC, everybody's got a comfortable life that they've basically chosen. And so I just think it's interesting. And I think a little self perspective for all of us is good. We shouldn't get too fired up because I don't think we're willing to do anything about it. It just hasn't reached a point where the population of any level is going to rise up and actually try to force change. So hopefully the southern border gets fixed by the government and stays that way, or we're going to be right back where we were in a few years. Hopefully we can get schools to stop teaching gender choice, although I still think they're teaching it right now, to be honest. And YouTube still makes its own decisions as to what you can and cannot post. Whether you get a strike for it, or you get your channel deleted. I don't really see that changing a whole lot. I don't think it's a whole lot different now than it was a year ago. And I don't think it'll be a whole lot different a year from now. Anyway, there's some general musings from a guy who's had a bunch of thoughts running through his head the last 24 hours. If you disagree, if there's a cause of something going on that you are in fact preparing to go take a stand on, I'd love to hear it. Because I'd love to hear what the population is really thinking. I know what I think, and I know what I see on YouTube when I read in comments, but other than being a bunch of guys making YouTube videos, I don't know if we're actually doing anything. So maybe we shouldn't be, by the way. I don't really know. Has it really risen to that point? It's risen to frustration and not action. I don't know. I'd love to hear what do you think when I say stuff like that? Are you different? Are you taking action? Are you doing anything? Or or are you making videos and making comments? Which is fine, by the way. I'm not judging it. I just think it's that's not really making a YouTube video is not taking action. Certainly, it's not in my opinion. It might be in yours, but certainly not putting anybody. We're not putting ourselves in any sort of physical danger the way we're behaving currently. Again, maybe that's the way it should be. Maybe our country really isn't in so much trouble that we need to do anything like that. Maybe it's just the ballot box still. All right, that's enough of that for now. Here's Sasha digging up, expanding the combat hole. I think she finds roots and tries to dig the roots out and pulls on them. That's Finny wondering, what are you doing with my combat hole, man? Don't be messing with my stuff. There she's digging some more. Ah, the life of a dog in the dog yard. Yeah, see, she's pulling on that root. I'd fuss at her, but does it really matter? That's why it's a dog yard. It's not my wife's rose garden or flower garden. It's the dog yard. But she'll probably bring up this is why dogs should not be left with their dads all by themselves. Dads just let dogs play and lay in the dirt. Oh, now they're both digging. Look at this. Oh, a lot of dog video today, guys. Look at Finny, he's about ready to have a nap. So one of the things that I read that caused me to think down that road was 1941-42, several of the senior naval leadership in the Pacific were asked what would happen if Japan ends up winning the war, and like Admiral Nimitz and several others said, well, one thing's for sure is we'll all be hung. And I was like, wow, I mean that's pretty real. Not only trying to win a war and defend a country, but if you lose, you're personally be hung for your role in the war. Thought, wow, that's pretty crazy, and that's pretty modern. I mean, a lot of people don't think 1941 or 42 is modern, but I do. Was that 60, 70, 80 years ago? Wasn't that long ago. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting. As a modern American commander in charge, admiral, 4-star admiral, you actually thought if we lose this war, me and the other leadership teams will all be hung by the victor. But that was pretty crazy. I'd never thought of that before. So this is the cigar roach clip, the cigar stubby holder that I love. It's a great cigar, by the way. It's medium. It's got a touch of spice. It's got good flavor. None of the Cohibas are budget friendly, in my opinion. The Cohiba Black is especially not budget friendly, but the Macassar is not great either. So I can recommend it if you want to try a Cohiba. The Macassar is a good one. I just love how that thing holds. And it turns out, if you're somewhere you got a flat surface, it'll stand up. So it's actually your cigar holder. I thought that was pretty cool. Anyway, that's why I love this little tool. Yeah, it was amazing how many of you responded to yesterday's video with how good life is for you. That is really good to hear. It's good to know that so many people in this little corner of the YTPC, this little corner of the internet, this little corner of YouTube, how much you enjoy your lives. I'm way behind on comments. I don't think I've responded to comments in the last 3 days, so I know I've got a bunch to get back on. And I'll get on it. Just the video I did for tomorrow took some time. And I had other things to do today, so I just did the one video reading to you, and then did some prep work for tomorrow, and now this one. So I just haven't had time to sit and go through comments. It takes quite a while because I think there's 4 or 5 videos. There's probably a couple hundred comments. I like to go through them all. Because if you say something meaningful, ask a question, I like to get back to you about it. One question that came out from the AI vid yesterday was, what have I used it for? What do I think it's useful for? So, the only way I've really used AI is basically just like Google or DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo is usually what I use. I use it as a super search engine, basically. But I have read how others use it, and we'll go over that. That'll be another video, how to use AI. I warn you, a bunch of you said, well, I don't know, I don't understand it, so I'm not touching it. And I would warn you against such behavior if you're willing to take the warning. At least go to chatgpt.com or grok.com or something and just use it like a search engine a little bit. Just start getting used to this. There were people in 1990 that said this internet thing is stupid, I don't understand it, and a lot of people didn't use it. And 40 years later, they're now 80 years old and struggling with online banking and online credit card payments and ordering things off of Amazon and such. And we don't want to be that way. When in 20 years, when I turn 80, I'm always looking for what is that thing where the world gets by me, and AI was one of them. So I started taking some training on it, and I have some ideas of how I'll use it. So I'll talk in a future video about how I see others using it and how I think I might try to use it. But at least go and look at it and rip that band-aid off and go just type some questions into it, ask it to do something for you. Even on so I did my research on tariffs with it, but just stuff like that. If you have questions, you could even ask it about how is it biased. See what AI says. Anyway, I would just recommend don't blank it. Don't if you close your eyes, it can still see you just because you can't see it. So try not to be too much of a luddite with AI. It's super easy to go to one of the sites and just type questions in. So I guess I'll end the video with a discussion. The few items. What am I willing to die for? The list is pretty short. I'm willing, literally willing. I mean, truly, not just saying it. Truly willing to die to protect my own life, my property, my family. That's my extended family, not just my wife and kids. And then several of my friends. You know, I'd be willing to go if something went wrong. But that's really what I'm willing to die for. Pretty short list. I just thought I'd be honest about what I'm willing. I'm not going to go storm our school to make a point about gender education. I'm not going down to the southern border on my own to try to defend the southern border. I'm not willing to do that. I'm certainly not willing to do anything crazy to try to get YouTube to change its policies about free speech. So there, I'll call myself out too. It's not just the community. I just want to be clear about what I am, ready to stand up for. All right, guys, that's it for today. I'll just end it with I ask God bless you. I ask that He turn His ear to your prayer and that He make His face shine upon you. And may He bless your lives as well as He blesses mine. You guys, I hope you had a great Thursday. I hope you had a great week. Hope you got a good Friday and a good weekend in front of you. And we will talk again tomorrow on Friday. Bye, everybody.